Live West Coast, and we are here with the one and only Erin, Miss Northern Ireland International Bombshell. Thank you so much, Erin, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Now, I think this is so amazing what technology can do right now, because we've got the West Coast, and it's only 1 p.m. here for me, and then we've got you all the way in Scotland. What time is it over there?
It is 9 o'clock at night.
That's incredible. So we are doing a live interview with 8 hours difference, so it's awesome. So thank you so much for joining us today. I'm very excited about having you on. So I want to get a little bit more information about your title. Tell us a bit more about what your platform is, what your title is, what you've done through.
My title is Miss Northern Ireland International Bombshell. I entered to represent Northern Ireland as I am a third-generation Northern Irish from my father's side of the family who live in County Down. Bombshell is a completely new pageant. It just started up this year. It truly is about not discriminating against anyone for any reason. Every girl is so different in their own way, and it really is about embracing who you are as a person. So the pageant was so much fun.
So Erin, does this pageant span across all of UK, or is it just is it all over Europe?
Bombshell is an international title, so anyone can enter. The top three, actually, I was the only British-born person in the top three. The other girls that were in the top three came from Europe, Belgium and Lithuania. So anybody can enter from anywhere in the world.
So Erin, tell me a little bit more about Bombshell, because it sounds amazing. The fact that there's no discrimination, that they're so open to different types of individuals. Tell me a little bit more about that, because I'm so used to the traditional pageant.
There really is no level of discrimination. You can really be any size, any weight, race, religion. You can have pink hair, green hair, blue hair, covered in tattoos, or not. It really is embracing about who you are as a person. So much so, I actually originally picked a gown which covered all of my tattoos and my scars. And through the 3 pageant days I spent with the girls and the staff, I began to realise what Bombshell was really about, and it was about being who you are. So on the morning of the pageant at 6 AM, I changed my dress. So I wouldn't be hiding my tattoos and I wouldn't be hiding my scars, because I felt like if I stood on stage and preached about, you know, really believing in who you are, it would be a bit of a contradiction. So the fact that I placed first runner-up and I just followed my instinct really says it all.
That must be so liberating. The fact, I just love that in that mission statement, is that you are exactly who you are, and it's appreciated. And I think that's absolutely wonderful. Now, you said you have tattoos. Can we see them?
Yeah, sure. I have a sleeve, and I also have a large chest piece, and I have work on my lower leg. I do know that tattoos are somewhat frowned upon in some pageant systems, which is completely fine. Every pageant system's individual. But what's really good is some of the judges that came from other pageant systems, which don't seem to accept tattoos as much, they came to the pageant to judge, but they judged purely on the guidelines of Bombshell. So it was really nice for them to be able to open up and really enjoy the art, which is tattooing.
That's fantastic. I think that's absolutely beautiful. Now, I know you mentioned scars, and I know, Erin, that you have a very, very powerful message and a very powerful story. Can you share a little bit about your story with us?
Yeah, 5 years ago, I was involved in a house fire. I sustained 45% burns to my body, and I spent about 8 months in hospital where I had to learn to walk again and talk again, and there wasn't much hope given to me, and it was really kind of the inner determination that got me through it. And it's that inner determination that I still use in pageantry that kind of drives me to want to do my best every day for the title that I'm representing, and also to stand proud and say I do have scars, but they're part of me, and I don't want to hide them, and I don't see why any other woman should have to hide their scars, and also the fact that, you know, people have scars, whether it be mentally or physically. If they're not visible, they're still important, you know. It's nice that so many girls enter pageantry to gain confidence and get so much from it.
Thank you so much for being so courageous to share that story with us, because I think it's such a powerful message that so many young girls have to hear, because whether or not you've been through some type of trauma or not, whatever happens in your life and those events that happen really do shape who you are as a person, and I don't think it's something that we need to hide. It's more of what we need to embrace, and I think you're such a powerful message for that, so thank you. And I do want to ask you a little about that. Did you decide to do pageants after the fire, or had you been competing in them for a while?
I started doing pageants after the fire. I entered them really, I didn't know much about pageants. I entered one online, and I done it really at that point in my recovery to prove that anyone with a disfigurement could compete at a beauty pageant, because it doesn't make them any less beautiful. And I guess being young and naive and not as experienced as other girls, I kind of got wrapped up in entering every pageant without researching systems, without researching what they were looking for. And it was so easy to get caught up in the negativity of negative comments that were being made. And I'd done a lot of pageants in 1 year. And after I was crowned Miss United Nations International 2012, I took a step back from pageantry because I felt like I wasn't in it for the right reasons, and I became a bit over competitive. And for me, it was time to take a step back. So I did, and Miss International Bombshell was my returning pageant in 2015, 3 years on. And I entered into this pageant with a completely different outlook, with just an aim to go in and enjoy the experience. Obviously, it would be great to win, but the only aim that I had was to enjoy it. And I actually went so much further by just enjoying it.
I think it's so important, and we lose sight of that, because pageant is obviously a competition, and everybody's very competitive. It wouldn't be what it is without that, little bit of edge. But I think that's something that so many girls need to really hear, is that you have to be in it for the right reasons and really have a good time. So share a little bit more about your experience in this pageant. I mean, were all the girls very welcoming? Did you make some lifelong friendships? What was the most memorable experience there?
I can honestly say, out of so many pageants, I've entered pageants and left with 1 or 2 good friends. In this pageant, I left this pageant not just friends, but great friends with every single girl, which was such a rare experience. Every girl has kept in contact every day. We're all going, planning holidays and planning get-togethers and seeing how we can support one another. And that, for me, is really the first experience I've ever had where absolutely everybody has kept in touch and not one person has been left out. And it's just, for me, it was the close-knit experience, the real family experience of the pageant that, for me, I would definitely reconsider entering next year.
That's fantastic. Now, tell me a little bit more. I mean, I've only competed stateside, but is there anything really different about the competition over in Europe? Like pageantry in general?
I guess over here, at the moment, the big thing seems to be a lot of competitions are dropping swimwear. I don't know if that's a big thing over in the US at the moment, but there seems to be a lot of debate and discussion about it. Some pageants seem to be swapping swimwear for national costume, or they seem to be upping the scores in interview and dropping swimwear. Some may agree with it, some may not. Personally, I don't feel very comfortable in swimwear because I am one of the larger ladies, so I'm quite all for it. But even Bombshell, which was quite good, gave you the option to compete in swimwear, but it didn't affect your final score, which was quite nice. So there was always that option, and it was fun. But that seems to be one of the main differences at the moment. Apart from that, there isn't a great deal of difference in competing over here. I've competed in the US and Europe and the UK, and they're all very, very similar.
So I want to kind of take a step back to the tattoo conversation. Do you think that tattoos should be more widely acceptable within pageantry? Because I know, from my understanding, that tattoos are huge over in Europe and are starting to become so much more of a trend. Are they being more widely accepted in pageants or not?
I think slowly but surely there are some systems that are being a little more forgiving towards them. They're not being as harsh towards them in terms of scoring. I do understand that some people will see it as not a good way to set an example to a young person. I can completely understand that view, 100%. From the point of view where I have tattoos, I don't just go and get tattooed and get anything put on me. For me, it's more art. So in Europe, actually, well, the UK is quite accepting. Europe, not that, like, out with the UK, not so much at the moment. I can completely understand a lot of classic pageant systems that have been running for many years just do not accept them. I think that's fine. That's their system, and it's their choice. But it is really nice to see the doors opening a little bit more, because there are so many pageants that do say, we do not discriminate against race, we do not discriminate against religion, but then you can't pick and choose what you want to discriminate against. I don't think that's correct. You can't say, well, I'll discriminate against tattoos, but I won't discriminate about religion. It's still discrimination, however you want to call it. But I completely see arguments from both sides.
Right. Erin, I absolutely, I have to take a moment and say I absolutely love you. You stand for so much, and you're so powerful in all your messages, and I think that they go across the board for any young woman, and I think that it's something that you have to get out and let people know. So I'm glad that you're on our show today. Now, do you travel a lot and speak about your platform and speak about empowerment for young women?
Yes, absolutely. I do many public speaking appointments over the UK, through the British government, through the Scottish government. I'm recently just back from Los Angeles, where I spent Halloween in Hollywood, which was absolutely fantastic. And this weekend, yeah, it was amazing. And this weekend I am away to Barbados. A personal holiday, but a pageant girl never rests, so I will have my sash with me and my crown with me at all times. I have decided to apply for one more pageant this year. It'll be at the end of this year, which is the Irish pageant system. So I am the newly appointed Ms. County Down, which is exciting because it's the first time I've competed as a Ms. So again, this is a new step into pageantry for me, but there's just so much exciting things to come.
Congratulations on that. That's so exciting. I can't wait to hear how that turns out. So best of luck for that. And you were just a world traveler. Now, I have one more question.
Yeah.
I heard a birdie told me that you have met the Queen of England. Is that right?
Yes, correct. I have done a lot of charity work over the past 5 or 6 years. I've raised over, I think, putting it into American dollars, around 300,000 US dollars for various charities. and the Queen invited me to her palace in Edinburgh, in Scotland, for a garden party. And the rumour is true, she is very small, very small. Cute, very cute.
Oh my goodness. Well, I just know that everyone here stateside is obsessed with royalty. Anything that has to do with the Queen or you know, the princes or anything, everybody's just like, oh my gosh, so exciting.
Yeah, they're a fantastic family.
Oh yes, I'm sure, and you're every bit of royalty as they are, I have to say. And I want to thank you so much for sharing all of your stories and your empowering messages. You have been absolutely amazing and one of my absolute favorite guests to have on, just because you're so inspirational. And I want to thank you for that. And definitely stay in touch and let us know how the next pageant goes. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. And guys, this is Candace Cruz for Pageant Live West Coast. Thank you again, Erin, for joining us, and we'll see you next time.